So this is what we have completed last week. Alright, you should have learned how to put in objects, how to create mappings, alright, how to map the objects already. So this week we are going to cover three main topics here: on weather, on how to create and edit the landscape, and most importantly, this is what Lumion is fundamentally designed for, to create walkthrough or to create animations in this case. So we will touch on that topic. We'll spend a bit more time to guide you through this part of the work, right? So let's start with the weather first. Okay. Now before we get started, I would like everyone to do this first. Go to Objects and place under Lights and Special Objects here. Okay, where my screen is, here, under this. Okay, to this, and look for, click on Change Object and look for Omni Light. Place an Omni Light here. Place it here. You will not see any effect or anything at this point. Don't worry about it, because later on we will show you how to edit this part of the work. I cannot show you this until I have shown you how to edit the weather. Yes, on the fire itself. And I'll show you and explain to you later on why is there a need to insert a light at that location, alright? Now first, we're going to cover weather, which is the first thing here. The way Lumion is designed is pretty logical in that sense, because it requires you to work almost on a very linear order from top down situation. Okay, so what's going to happen is we're going to cover weather and then the landscape, and then show you how to import and then let you add other objects and so on. Now it needs to be in this particular order, fundamentally because there are certain areas of which if you go on the opposite order, like place object first before changing the terrain, it's going to affect your object placement drastically. In fact, I will show you an example and a scenario that makes this happen. So you need to know how this whole process works. So on weather, we are going to work this way onwards, linear order this way. Alright, I'll show you this one first. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the next side of the scene. I need to get to a place where it's largely empty. Here somewhere. Okay, just the top of the hills to show you better. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a human figure here so that we can give you an orientation of things. Alright. So on weather itself, you will see now that if you shift the compass north, south, east, west, the shadow rotates also. Alright. I'm going to start with the east. This is the best way to show you. And I'll reorientate the camera, I'll reorientate my view a little bit just to show you this carefully. As you can see right now, this human figure has a shadow here, and he's standing this tall. Okay? Something like this. With this, we will be able to triangulate the position of the sun. Let's say from here to here, that's his shadow line. Here to here is how tall he is standing. Now, if we literally draw a line going up, connecting these 2 points, we will be able to establish that the sun is coming from this direction. Okay, this is what I mean by triangulating backwards again. Alright, so if we know that we put this on the east, the shadow comes in this way. Alright, if we change it to the west, almost like a setting sun, you can see that the shadow now goes in the opposite direction. South, obviously, it's going to be at his back, and north, it will be frontal. Alright, this is how we establish the location. Next, we're going to adjust the sun's height. We associate the sun's height with time, so we can almost gauge this to be the midday sun, where the shadow is really, really short, almost no shadow at all, compared to 2 or 3 o'clock, shadow increases, and possibly 5 or 6 o'clock, shadow becomes really, really long, and all the way down, evening time, the atmosphere changes to night time at that. As you would know, night time cannot be completely black. If it's completely black, we won't be able to see anything. That's the situation, okay? Then I'll take you back to the site again at this. Now we begin to see, okay, I will explain to you why there is a need to add in an Omni light, okay? If you cannot see these effects, chances are your editor quality is set at a very low quality here. You will see things like that. You can't see the water properly. You will not be able to see the glow effects and all. This is good. This is a good editor mode if you are in the midst of putting in things and that the scene is very, very complicated and heavy. Alright, and after you're done with this, you want to deal with the effects, rendering, then you set it to very high quality and you display this. Okay, then next. Now, we know that we set a campfire right in the middle of this fountain pool here. Okay, now this fountain pool will not be very realistic if you do not add in a light to this. It will just be very there will just be a very, very bright flame here, but this very, very bright flame doesn't affect anything at all. Now, to simulate the effects of a flame that it emits light, we need to insert an Omni light and let it glow and affect areas around which. That's the reason why we add in an Omni light. Okay, and if you click on edit properties and select this Omni light, you will be able to change its properties, like its intensity, the power of the light itself, and also the color of the light as we go across. This adding of Omni lights and color will add a lot of interest to your rendering, and you're almost painting it by the light itself. Okay, so because it is caused by a flame, it has this yellowish cast. I'm going to just put the color within the orange zone here somewhere, like that. Okay, so this is what you have to do when you are trying to create a night scene or a night rendering. This would help a lot in visual effects. Next, we will change this to daytime again, and I just want to show you the effects of the clouds. If you look down here, this bar here denotes the cloud density. So if you notice that if you slide it all the way to the end, you see a rare scene of a cloudless day. In our local context here, we are in the tropics, so there's always clouds. It's very, very hard to see a pure blue sky with no clouds. Very, very rare. In fact, if you look out the window right now, you will probably see this more likely. Okay, you see more gray than blue. For some reason, our skies are never blue. Okay, so this is where you can adjust the effect of the sky. Okay, the clouds. You can also adjust the type of clouds. You have 9 to select from, and you can control this. Alright. Next, we are going to look at the exposure. Think of this as a camera exposure situation. You can have it very, very bright and overexposed situation just by sliding the bar here. or you can make it really underexposed to the point it's black. Alright, this rarely ever happens. If you have this, I think you're trying to do a fade out effect more than anything else. So we normally set it at the balance here. You can have it brighter but not too dark here.